All right, friends, we are going to start reading chapter 11 of Amari and the Knight Brothers. After the meeting, Agent Magnus escorts me to an elevator named Whispers, which surprisingly shouts out the name of every floor we pass. It's lucky for my ears that the special events floor is only a few stops up. As I follow Agent Magnus off the elevator, a voice comes over the intercom. This is your chief director speaking. With regard to this morning's unfortunate event, we are still working out the particulars of what exactly occurred and why. Rest assured that once we have this information, we will be forthcoming with an explanation. In the meantime, trainee Amari Peters is to be treated no differently from any other trainee. That is all. They were the ones who wanted to treat you differently in the first place, Agent Magnus grumbles. Bunch of superstitious clucks. They'd jump off the roof if someone told them the building was unlucky. Thanks for having my back, I say. Don't sweat it, kid. Agent Magnus strokes his beard. No way I was going to let him throw you in jail or send you to some lab to be studied, but I ain't going to lie. I'd rather be the chief sent you home. I don't say it to be mean. I just want you to be perfectly clear on what you're signing up for here. Your brother's arrest of Moreau is still fresh in everyone's minds, and Moreau's awful deeds are all well documented, as are the past 700 years of magician crimes in our world. People are going to form opinions and say nasty things about you based on nothing more than what you are. You sure you're prepared for that? I smile a little. Am I prepared for that? It's kind of like how being a Black kid from the projects makes Mr. Jensen feel the need to watch me extra close every time I come in his store. Or how surprised my scholarship interviewers were that I could speak so well. People assume stuff about you based on things you can't change about yourself. So I just do my best to prove them wrong, to be the person they're not expecting. Amari Peters, changing minds one person at a time. I'm prepared, I say. I've been practicing my whole life. Agent Magnus gives me a small nod and pats me on the back. Unlike most of the other floors, the special events floor doesn't have a lobby. It's just a wide hallway that bends out of sight. I follow Agent Magnus down the hall, past doors labeled ballroom, meeting room, and formal dining room. Finally, we reach one marked Grand Theater, where a young guy in a gray suit rushes over to tell Agent Magnus, it's almost our turn. I'm right behind you, Magnus replies. Then he turns to me. The presentations have already started, so go on in and take a seat at the back. As much as I appreciate Agent Magnus's help, I realize I need to make something clear. For as long as I get to stay, I'm going to be searching for my brother, whether you help me or not. Agent Magnus frowns. Quentin would much rather you stay safe. This is dangerous stuff. I don't care how dangerous it is, I say. I care about Quentin. And he cares about you. Heck, you're all he used to talk about. Amari this and Amari that. So before you do something dumb, I'd ask you to consider how Quentin's gonna feel if he manages to get himself found, only to discover that something terrible has happened to his little sister because she went looking for him. He'd be devastated. I don't know what to say to that. Agent Magnus knows he dropped a truth bomb right smack on my forehead. He's already started down the hallway. Shoulders slumped, I stepped into a massive darkened theater with endless rows of seats curving around a wide stage. I'm thankful that whatever this is has already started. Everyone's attention is on the stage instead of me. I'm even more thankful to find Elsie waving me over to a seat she saved for me in the last row. Your aura's yellow again, says Elsie. What happened back there? I shrug. She lowers her voice. People are saying, are you really a magician? I think so, I say. An illusionist. Elsie thinks on this for a few seconds. Well, if anybody gives you mean looks, you let me know and I'll not breathe fire on them, I smile. Hey, she says, giving me a playful punch. I'm working on shifting, just you wait. Thanks for not freaking out, I say. Well, if you can handle rooming with a girl who could turn into a dragon at any time, then I can handle being friends with a baby magician. I'm really glad they're letting you continue on. Me too, I say, and then point toward the stage. So what's this all about? Elsie hands me her copy of 1001 Careers and says, it's basically a presentation from each department explaining what they do and why we should choose them. I flip through the pages. What have I missed so far? Not a whole lot, says Elsie. Somebody from the Department of Supernatural Licenses and Records nearly put us all to sleep with a demonstration of orderly filing techniques. And just now, Director Rubbish from the Department of Half-Truths and Full Cover-Ups invited a few kids on stage and had them pick out their favorite historical event so she could explain what really happened. Did you know that World War I started because a few tiny alien ships accidentally crash landed into Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife? Everyone thought it was an assassination. The aliens visit 3 times a year to apologize for the mix-up. The departmental presentations are amazing. A man from the Department of Hidden Places steps out on top of a hat, where he claims an entire city is kept. A woman from the Department of Dreams and Nightmares puts the entire front row of the theater to sleep with the snap of her fingers, and then convinces them that they're all being chased by a giant evil teddy bear named Bubbles, destroyer of worlds. 2 grumpy old men from the Department of the Unexplained tell us absolutely nothing at all about what they do on principle. A girl from the Department of Supernatural Health has us clap along as she sings a man out of a coma. I'm about to ask if Elsie has any idea how long that poor guy has been in a coma when shouts ring out from above us. Every head in the theater turns upward to find men and women in gray suits running across the walls. They leap into the air, doing flips and twirls overhead. Wow. A couple of them swing whips of fire, while others twirl staffs of glittering light. Finally, each one stops to toss a plate in every direction. Out of nowhere, Agent Fiona appears, standing upside down on the ceiling, and draws a bow and arrow. She fires a single arrow that explodes into a flash of lightning that branches out to destroy every plate. Eventually, they all land on stage, bowing to thunderous applause from the trainees. I'm clapping too, my heart pounding with excitement. That was amazing. That's when Agent Magnus walks on stage to join them. Frowning harder with every step, I'm guessing you all know an agent when you see one, and I'm guessing a great many of you are thinking of trying out. Am I right? Well, what they don't tell you is that there ain't a more dangerous job in the whole bureau. Agents get hurt, good agents too, in nasty, gruesome ways. I know I'm wasting my breath. You'll all be after the glory and excitement that comes with wearing the gray suit. You all want to be real life superheroes. Am I right? Well, just don't say you weren't warned. Then he turns and stomps off the stage. The demonstrations continue for hours, but I'm barely paying attention. I'm thinking about trying out for junior agent. And now, just because of how cool the Supernatural Investigations presentation was, everything about Quentin is there. It's where he works, where the people who know him work, and even where the people who are searching for him will be. But Agent Magnus's warning felt especially meant for me, a reminder of what he just told me about putting myself in unnecessary danger. Once the demonstrations are finally over, the lights come up and cards are passed around the theater. On them, you're supposed to write down your top 5 choices. I watch Elsie scribble Department of Magical Science as her top choice, and then quickly fill in the other 4 slots. I stare down at my own card and scribble junior agent in big letters. I scratch it out just as fast. I think you'd make a great agent, says Elsie. You're a Peters. You practically got hero genes in you. Her eyes are so full of belief that it almost convinces me. I shake my head. I don't feel like a hero. Maybe Agent Magnus is right. Quentin would want me to be safe. And besides, my supernatural ability is illegal. They probably wouldn't even let me in. Do you want in? Elsie asks. I nod. Good, because if the situation were reversed, I don't think there's anything anyone could say to Quentin to convince him not to look for you. She's got a point. If my stubborn, hard-headed brother decided he was going to look for me, no one would be able to stop him. Elsie smiles. Now go on and get yourself into supernatural investigation so we can start our own investigation. Did she say we? You mean you'll help me find out what happened to Quentin? Elsie nods. I'll do whatever I can, promise. Just having one person with me is a huge weight off my shoulders. I instantly feel 10 times lighter. Grinning, I jot down Department of Supernatural Investigations. I'm still beaming when I hand it to the guy collecting them at the back of the theater. He takes a quick peek at my card and nearly drops the entire stack in surprise. Not only did I pick Supernatural Investigations as my top choice, I left the other 4 slots empty. Let's see if I can read. I'm going to read some of chapter 12. I've got a little bit of time. After the departmental presentations, we're given the rest of the afternoon off to get ready for the welcome social at 6:30. It's a chance for all the incoming trainees to get to know one another. Except while most of the other kids crowd the hallways, joking and laughing and comparing outfits, Elsie and I lock the door to our room and begin our investigation into the disappearance of Van Queesh. First, we need to come up with an actual plan and then make sure we follow it, says Elsie. The best way to do that is to put it into writing. She uses her sleeve to wipe some equations from her whiteboard before she lays it down on the floor between our beds. So what's been your plan so far? I bite on my lip. I don't really have a plan. Elsie shoots me a look. You were just going to make it up as you go along? My cheeks flush. It does sound pretty dumb when you say it like that. My roommate just shakes her head. You can't investigate anything without a plan. She pulls the top of her markers and writes. Step 1, come up with a plan. Did you really even have to write that? I ask. Yes, now let's think. We're both quiet for a bit before I say, I guess what I've been doing so far is just trying to get some answers about the Bureau's investigation. But all Agent Magnus will tell me is that it's classified. It's like the only word he knows. Elsie nods and writes out, step 2, find out what the Bureau already knows about Van Queesh's disappearance. And that's when I realized I actually did have a plan. I slide off my bed onto the floor beside Elsie and pick up one of her spare markers. I write, step 3, use what we find out to launch our own investigation. My roommate grins. This is a good start. Too bad we're going to be stuck on step 2 forever. It's not like they'll suddenly decide to make the Van Queesh files unclassified just for us. You're probably right, says Elsie, but we don't need the files. We just need to find someone who knows something and might be willing to talk. I think back on all the people I've met at the Bureau so far. Then it hits me. Elsie looks up at the same time as I do, and we both say, the Van Helsing twins. Their dad is the director of supernatural investigations. They're bound to have heard something about the search. Hope you feel like dancing, says Elsie, because they'll definitely be at the social tonight. When 6:30 comes, Elsie's all dressed and ready to go. She put on one of the dresses that made their way into our closet after the departmental presentations. Her dress is so cool. It's like she's wrapped herself in sparkling blue ocean. Waves seem to ripple across the fabric, and a school of bright orange fish zips around her waist. The water looks so real, I think my hand might get wet if I touch it. Somehow, our closet seems to magically contain whatever outfit we need. I wish it would magic up some comfy pajamas because that's how little I feel like going to a welcome social. You're still not dressed? Elsie makes an exasperated face. There's got to be an easier way, I say. Can't we just surprise one of them in the hallway or something? The Van Helsing twins stay with their parents in the director apartment, says Elsie. The only time they come down here is to visit one of their friends. It could take weeks to run into them by chance. We don't have that kind of time. Fine, I groan. Elsie skips over to the closet. There's a white dress in here from Madame Dubois that would be amazing on you. She holds it up and looks like it's made of actual clouds. Ugh, like I need any more attention. It'll be bad enough just showing up as the magician who received a moonstone badge this morning. You're looking at this the wrong way, says Elsie. Laura and her friends love anything that gets them more attention. Being the magician girl with a moonstone badge is the reason they'll want to hang out with you. She holds up the cloud dress again. You're kind of a big deal. Might as well look the part. 15 minutes later, the two of us take an opera singing elevator named Luciano back to the special events floor. Music booms behind the golden ballroom doors. Two ladies in butler uniforms push them open for us. I stop cold. When they said this year's theme is Winter Wonderland, they really meant it. It's snowing inside the huge ballroom. Snow-covered fir trees grow straight up out of the floor, and huge ice sculptures of dancing penguins and laughing polar bears fill up the spaces between the candlelit tables. Kids dance in midair, squealing and laughing as they're carried back and forth by swirling gusts of wind. I start to feel that same bubbly excitement I got the first time I saw those underwater trains with Quentin. This is incredible. Elsie's freckled face beams as she takes my hand. Ready? As ready as I'm going to be. As we make our way through the tables, I do my best to ignore all the stunned faces that turn my way. It's hard though. It feels like the whole room is staring. This is just what I was afraid of, having the same outsider spotlight shining down over me as I had back at Jefferson Academy. I honestly feel like I could throw up. There's Laura, says Elsie, nodding toward a tall girl in a dress that sparkles like diamonds, moving through the crowd of kids near the snack table. Let's go talk to her while she's alone. I fight down my nerves and try to focus on why I'm here, to get answers. After a deep breath, I say, let's do it. Be confident, Elsie says. Right, I say, confident. And whatever she says about me, just ignore it. We can't blow this chance. Before I can ask what she means, Elsie reaches Laura and gives her a polite tap on the shoulder. When Laura spins around, it's like she's posing for a photo or something. That girl is crazy pretty, like never used a filter in her life pretty. Laura frowns and rolls her eyes when she realizes it's Elsie. What do you want? Please tell me you aren't here to beg me to be friends again. If Elsie's feelings are hurt, she doesn't show it. I just thought you'd like to meet the Amari Peters. Laura finds me over Elsie's shoulder and her whole face lights up. She brushes past Elsie like she's not even there. Next thing I know, Laura is throwing an arm around my shoulder and snapping a quick selfie. I'm Laura Van Helsing, she says confidently. You may not know this, but your brother and my sister were partners. All I can think to say is, they're famous. So dumb. The most famous, Laura grins. You have to come sit at our table, she says, leaning in close. My friends are dying to meet you. Actually, I was kind of hoping to talk to you about Van Quiche. Just come and say hello, Laura interrupts. It'll take 2 seconds. Then we can talk all about my sister and your brother. Deal? Laura looks at me like telling her would break her heart. I glance around, but Elsie is nowhere to be found. Okay, I'm going to stop there. And next time we will finish that chapter 12. Okay, bye.